Three, two, one, and we are live, and we're back. It's Project Natter. Joining me again is Martin Costello. Hello, Martin. How are we doing?
I'm very well, thank you, David. How are you?
Yeah, I was doing quite well. I was celebrating St George's Day, having a wonderful time. And this week, I've seen nothing but hatred, perpetrated by the left. I didn't really want to be doing any more political videos for a while. I've been trying to distance myself from politics. As you know, I keep getting banned from social media. So I thought, yeah, I'll try and distance myself from it. But this week's been a bit hardcore, and we've been under attack by far left. So I thought, we'd have to get Martin Costello back on the show as you're like our project, political correspondent. So thanks again for your time, Martin.
No worries at all. I enjoy it.
First story I want to touch on was a story published by MK Citizen, which is Milton Keynes' online news paper. And the story is, well, the headline is Milton Keynes couple called Nazis and have 50 bags of dog poo thrown in their garden for celebrating St George's Day. So we're in England. Milton Keynes is in England. St George is a patron saint of England, and they're celebrating the patron saint of England, and they get. What do you make of this, Martin?
Wow, I'm absolutely horrified. I saw some lovely scenes on social media of people trying to celebrate St. George's Day in their living rooms yesterday, because we should be proud. But as per usual, once again, people have made that glorious flag into a symbol of hate. We've seen people like Emily Thornberry, who's actually made it a symbol of hate by the words that she's come on. But this is our flag. How dare they? And then to be actually called Nazis for having your flag up, I mean, that is unbelievable. And that is disgusting. They are liking someone who put a flag up to someone who killed, what was it, God knows how many Jews. I mean, that is absolutely ridiculous. Why shouldn't we be able to celebrate St. George's Day? We celebrate St. Patrick's Day with the Irish. You know, why can't we just be proud of our country for once? Let's have some pride. Goodness sakes.
Well, I see the daughter's comments in MK Citizen. She said, I'm so mad. She said, we've been attacked for celebrating St. George's Day. This is racist. She then goes on to say, why do we still live in a world where people can't accept that we're all wonderfully different in many ways? Racism of all sorts is not okay. This is a racist attack. It's a racist attack, and I hope the police investigate it as. And like you said there, the likes of individuals from the Labour Party, Emily Thornberry, have made it worse. But this is cultural Marxism, which brings us on to the next story. Let's get into this one. A teacher from Oxford University. She says, I teach at Oxford, but I don't want it to win the coronavirus vaccine race. She basically then goes on to say that the story will be clear. China once again has unleashed a threat to civilization, but the best brains in the UK have saved the world. What do you reckon?
Well, I mean, I'm the mind boggles, doesn't it? We're all getting really, really sick to death of this lockdown now. We can't go and see our family and friends, and it's getting really tough. And this woman now wants to prolong it just so we can't have some pride in our country. I mean, just what the hell's wrong with her? She's another fine example of a lefty in our education system who's probably been indoctrinated. We know the way she votes, and we know things like how she would have voted in the referendum and things like that. But once again, it's another example of them wanting to cut their nose off to spite their face. It is just unbelievable.
Well, you're right. They are all a bit nuts. I looked into her a little bit earlier and see who she was taught by a couple of feminists. Her name is Dr. Emily Cousins. She's researches vulnerability and gender at Oxford University. She teaches on women's studies, and it's all Marxist based. I was quite surprised. I was going through what she'd been taught, and it said, Marxist ideas, this, that, and the other. which is quite concerning because if you look at Marxist ideas, it's led to the death of millions, hundreds of millions of people. But it's okay to be a Marxist. Make any sense? They're absolute complete lunatics. Like you said there, you can guess how she voted, right? Guess who she votes for, and that be onto. Do you remember that nut job? So she's from Oxford. The other uni, as we know, is Cambridge. And we saw the other. Who was that nutter? The one who come out. She was naked all the time. Do you remember her?
Oh gosh, yeah. The name slips my mind now, but I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, she was running around naked, wasn't she? Dr. Victoria Bateman was her name, from Cambridge University. She was running around naked, complete out nut jobs. These are people who are teaching our kids. So she's going around completely start boiled naked, throwing off the welcome carpet.
Oh.
She she looked like she was smuggling an ounce of old Alban.
I've just got this mental image of that in my mind now. It's come back to me. I remember it vividly. Oh, I had nightmares for ages after that.
I saw her once on the tube, and I was looking at her, and she was looking at me. So you recognise who I am, don't you? And I was looking at her, thinking, I recognise her. And as soon as I thought, oh no! Again, it's across the board, and it's the same with we saw it with David Lammy when we had Stacey Dooley doing her charity work, and it was like, oh yeah, we don't want to see any more white saviours.
And Stacey Dooley as well. I've got a bone to pick with her because she had us wired up at that Trump rally that time. Remember that? And then we told her not to be biased, but surprise, surprise, the bias for the BBC come out through her. She was trying to make me out to be some like nutty right-wing person because I just wanted controlled immigration. I said all we should do is round up illegal immigrants and kick them out of here. And then she's trying to imply that that's some sort of a racist term. But how's that racist? These people shouldn't be given any airtime.
Well, no, they shouldn't. But the thing is, they control the airtime, Martin. They control the media. And that brings us to a poll. There was a poll that was done by Sky News and YouGov poll, a joint poll, and they asked the public who they least trusted and who they most trusted. And the least trusted on the poll was the mainstream media, the newspapers, and all the reporters. And at the other end of the spectrum, the most trusted was the NHS, Boris Johnson. Blah, blah, blah. So it just shows you, doesn't it? No one can really trust.
What scares me though is some people just follow it religiously and they do trust it, and these people just being completely radicalized, and that does concern me greatly. And these are the lefties. They don't look at the facts themselves. They just take what they see on the surface and go and run with it, and that is very dangerous.
But as I've said many times before, over the past couple of decades, politics has shifted so far left that anybody that was seen as centred is now seen as far right. Let's move on to our next story. The next story is the Labour Party. Keir Starmer has appointed Baroness Doreen Lawrence as Labour's race relations advisor. And he's now got Doreen Lawrence to lead an inquiry into the impact of the coronavirus on a BAME background community. So basically, there's been quite a few deaths of coronavirus and people infected with coronavirus, people from a BAME background. I'll just read this. So this is a BBC News article. It says the Intensive Care National Audit of Research Centre found that 34% of more than 4,800 critically ill patients with COVID-19 identified as Black, Asian or minority ethnic. This is despite only 14% of people in England and Wales being from an ethnic minority background, according to a 2011 census. So I think we're in 2020. We could probably double that now and say they're about 30% of our population, but even still, it is concerning. But there are lots of videos that have been online, Martin. Talk about these videos. We'll probably get called racist, whatever, but we've seen these videos. You've seen these videos. I've seen these videos.
Well, I mean, the first thing I want to say, any death from this is absolutely terrible. And, my heart, and I'm sure your heart goes out to all those involved too. But what we have seen is these videos circulating, and it seems to be predominantly people of such background who are ignoring the social distancing advice. You know, we see them going to their places of worship and things, just completely ignoring it, or going to house parties and things. So if you're going to investigate something like this, you need to have it done independently and look at the facts. You know, there's definitely a correlation there that needs to be looked at, and they can't dismiss some of this as people being irresponsible by not sticking to the government guidelines.
Totally agree with you, Martin, 100%. The only one thing that's concerning me is obviously the government are doing their own investigation and now Labour have launched their own. But for them to put forward Doreen Lawrence, and let's not forget Doreen Lawrence accused the London Fire Brigade of being racist when, you know, responding to the Grenfell Tower, where many people were burned alive and subsequently sadly killed in that tragic fire. She accused London Fire Brigade of being racist in responding to the fire. She's since apologised since then, but you know, obviously, her judgment's clouded. Let's not forget her son was killed in a racially motivated attack. So it seems that her judgment's very clouded. So to get somebody like that who's come out and called the London Fire Brigade racist to then conduct a probe into the death of and whatnot via this virus is shocking, to say the least. Is an understatement.
It is, and I think, you know, she's not the right person to conduct such an investigation. You know, it's an awful thing what happened to her son. It should never happen again. But then when she came out with those comments about Grenfell, really shocked me. That took the wind out of me. And you know, she may have since apologised, but it just goes to show that she's not the best person to investigate this at all. You know, it needs to be done independently. You know, so we can get the facts and not anything else, because sometimes people have an axe to grind when they got these when they're put in these positions. But we just want to see the facts, and then from that we can hopefully save lives in the future. But I mean, like I say, someone like that, her judgment is not going to be in the right place more than likely, and they won't underturn every stone. So if they want to start trying to restore any credibility, they need to get someone independent to do it.
Well, they won't, as we know, Labour Party are complete and utter trash. You know, and it's a shame. The Labour Party absolutely, you know, they got annihilated in the election, and they will continue to get annihilated as long as they go down this pathway. To people watching, you know, from the subjects we've run through, please comment below. Let us know what you think. For me, I'm quite angry because this week would have been a great week for celebrating St George's Day, and we've just seen attack from the left, and I just had to do this video. I had to discuss what was going on and just say, you know, this is it's astonishing. You just wouldn't think this was England.
Nothing ceases to amaze me anymore, I'm afraid. I've seen it all now. Well, I think I have, but I haven't.
Thanks very much for your time, Mike. I really appreciate you coming at such short notice. But like I said, it just got to me today, and I was just watching. You know, we've got to discuss this. We've got to talk about this, and you know, it's not right. No, people need to wake up. You know, we've got institutional Marxism. It's everywhere. It's in all our school. Every single institution you can think of has been infected with Marxism. Until we get rid of Marxism, our country's going to be in the right state. But yeah, onwards and upwards. Because you have a couple of beers tonight. Continue celebrating St George's Day. Did you have a few beers yesterday for St George's Day?
I did, but you know my favourite Topple's Guinness, don't you? So
that's all right.
It's I got some Irish blood in me, that's why. So, but it doesn't matter. The celebrations will continue tonight.
Likewise. Well, lovely speaking to you again, Martin. You take care. Please like, share the video, and don't forget to comment below and let us know your thoughts and what you think of these stories, of these attacks that have been going on. If you're appalled and as upset as I am, please make sure you watch your words and what you write. So you get yourself banned from social media like myself. All right, take care, Martin. Thanks again.
Yeah.